There are so many videos on this subject, triads. And if you're like me in the beginning, thinking, what am I supposed to do with this? How will this help me get better on guitar? Today I'll give you an overview of why you need triads, where you can find them on the fretboard, and how you can incorporate them into your improvisation and into your chord playing. All you need as a prerequisite is a simple understanding of the notes A to G, and that you know the open chords. So buckle up and let's go. Triads are chords that consist of 3 notes within an octave. If we take a close look at the C major, you will surely notice that the chord consists of far more than 3 notes. After all, it's all 6 strings we play, right? Well, let's take a closer look at that. The 3rd fret of the A string, the 2nd of the D string and the open G string, the 1st fret of the B string and the open E string, from top to bottom would be the notes C, E, G, C, and E. So basically the chord only consists of 3 notes, C, G, and E. However, the C on the A string is much lower than the C on the B string. We are in more than just 1 octave, therefore, in the open chord. If we want to play a pure triad, we can take a fragment of the open C major and play only the notes on the A, D, and G strings, for example, and thus have a C major triad. So the first realization should be triads are derived from open chords, or open chords consists of several layers of triads. I hope you got that so far. If not, feel free to rewind and work your way forward slowly. This far, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos. Now that we're ready, let's take the next step. Triads in the caged system. Roughly summarized, the caged system says that each of the notes C, A, G, E, and D, which represent a chord, can represent another chord in a different position on the fretboard. If I raise the E major by 1 fret, it becomes an F and then an F sharp. What if we take the E shape and analyze? This shape currently consists of the note E, G sharp, and B. As you've noticed, the E shape has the root note E. If I move this shape so that the root note is C, I do not longer have an E but a C. I have a C but in the shape of an E major. In contrast to the E, however, I'm no longer on the 1st or the 2nd fret but on the 9th and the 10th. Here's the thing. When I play the open E, open strings vibrate, these notes therefore also need to be raised to complete the E-shaped C. I could achieve this with a capo, for example. I would move my E major to the C and place the capo in front of it and play. Problem is that I can no longer switch between a C in C shape and the C in E shape. In order to do that, I have to find a way to play the C in the E shape without using the capo, so I get rid of it. What I can do is to rebuild my E shape a little so that I don't play it anymore with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd finger, but with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger. Alright, this gives me a decisive advantage. I have the index finger free to use it as a substitute for the capo. And now we can do that with any chord. We can turn the A into a C in the A shape. We can turn a D into a C in the D shape. From the E, we make a C in the E form. From the G, we make a C in the G form. And now that we moved all the chords to a C, let's break them up again. the C in the E shape down to its individual notes again and realize that we can determine the notes C, G, C from the top 3 strings. Well, that's stupid. That's not a complete triad because the E is missing. So let's search for it. So in the next E, we'll find on the 12th fret of the E string. So I play 8 and 12 on the E string for the notes C and E. And then I find the G using the E shape on the 10th fret of the E string. And that's my first triad. C, E, G, 8, 12, 10 on E, E, and A string. The next time we start at the 12th fret of the E string and then on the 10th fret of the A string, so E, G, and the next C is in the E shape at the 10th fret of the D string. So here again we have a triad, this time starting from the E, going to the G, and then to the C. We then start the next triad on the A string and play the G, C, E in the E shape. Next we play the triad from the D string, C, E, G, and then E, G, C from the G string. And now I have all the triads within the C major chord in the E shape. C, E, G, E, G, C, G, C, E, C, E, G, and E, G, C. And this can of course also be done in every other shape of the C. So here is an exercise that covers all the triads of C major within the 5 forms of the caged system. Are you ready to take the next step? If you practice your triads intensively and you know where they are very well, you can start experimenting with them. The first exercise, what I do, therefore, is that I play a standard C major open chord for 1 bar and then improvise for 1 bar with the triads that I practiced. The next exercise, I do the same, but instead of going back to the same open chord, I'm using another triad of the C major every time I come back from improvising. Are you there? Congratulations! I know this was a tough lesson, but you made it and you can really be proud of yourself. Have fun and keep on practicing, and I'll catch you in the next hangout.